Welcome to Subramani. Please press the bell icon. Please subscribe if you have not already subscribed to. I'm going to talk about how to find a financial advisor, or what are the steps that you could take. I've done videos saying why it is difficult to find good financial advisors, because the income structure for financial advisors does not make it attractive for a person to come here voluntarily. So most people may have just stumbled into it. Like, I went into training and I said, oh, I can also do financial advisory and things like that, but then I stopped long back. Maybe about 15 years back I stopped doing that. So what should you look for in a financial advisor? It's a summary kind of thing. Maybe it will take 10-minute episodes. I may post it as 2 10-minute episodes, and later on also as a full 20-minute episode. I get good welcome for 12 longish podcasts also, so I put longish ones, but I also do short ones. So first question to ask is, does the financial advisor do exactly what he asks you to do? Now, this is very difficult to say, because if a financial advisor is, say, 70 years of age or 65 years of age, he may not exactly be doing what he is asking a 30-year-old to do or a 35-year-old to do. But ask him whether he has made money by doing advisory work or by actually investing. Both are fine, but at least you should know whether he is gone through the same path, or he just says, oh, okay, I think you should do mutual funds, etc., and puts his own money in bank fixed deposits or direct equity, and says, no, I can understand that better. So it's up to you to decide whether that's okay for you or not okay for you. Some people are capable of juggling two hats, but I would be more comfortable if I know that he is also putting his own money in mutual funds. The process that he follows or the process that she follows, those are worth talking about and worth considering. So don't get your advice from somebody who is done marketing only, right? So if he or she has created a nice income for themselves, nice wealth for themselves doing something, but asking you to do something else, saying, oh, you should not invest in mutual funds, but his income is coming, or her income is coming from having sold mutual funds in the past, and now saying, oh, I think you should do direct equity, there is a conflict, because he has no clue or she has no clue about your capability of handling the volatility of a direct equity portfolio. It could be far more volatile than a fund, right? So if I have created a stream of income for myself by selling mutual funds, I'm pretty safe out there. Please understand that money is well protected. After that, I can really do whatever I want in the equity markets, win, lose, doesn't matter. But if I'm trying to sell mutual fund to you, or rather if I'm able to sell my equity services platform to you, saying, oh, I will give you advice every day on what to buy and what to sell, etc., etc., then I better be earning money doing that. But if I'm saying, oh, I think you should put money in a mutual fund for long periods of time, then the jury is still out on whether there is conflict of interest. In fact, it may not be there much, but you should at least know how that person has made his or her money, what is their career path, what they have taken, etc., right? Or don't even get your advice from financial luminaries who write books, run blogs, do lectures. These are not people with whom you should get financial advisory, because they have a helicopter view saying, oh, this fund manager is good, but sorry, will that fund manager deliver in the future, etc.? We have no clue to have all that. So somebody who will sit with you, who will take down your goals and say, okay, this is what you should do, is very different from a high profile author who can come give a lecture and go and charge a fee for it. But that's not sufficient. That is again broad. That's like saying, start early, invest in equity, be calm when there is a storm, right? So all this is gyan which that person is giving, which is applicable to everybody. But to know whether you should take that advice, only your personal financial advisor knows. So yes, many of us can broadly tell you what to do, but that's not sufficient. If you are not capable of doing it yourself, then you need somebody to hold your hand and do the implementation. So know your own limitations before you seek advice from people who are giving generic advice. So I'm good at giving generic advice. Does not mean you should sit with me with your portfolio and say what happens, simply because I'm not legally also allowed to do that. I'm not qualified to do that. So the question you're actually asking is he walking the talk? Is he saying, okay, I am doing this, copy me, or is he just marketing the walk which he has had? Then again, it's completely up to you to decide how you want to deal with such a situation. Nothing right, nothing wrong, but I'm just telling you the scenarios which can happen. Can the financial advisor show you that how his financial advice has worked? Can he say, oh, I worked with this person for 20 years and I've created so much wealth for that person. I worked with this person for 17 years and he or she did not even believe that they can do a 6,000 rupee SIP, and today they have invested about 7 crores and it is worth 17 crores. Can he or she show you such data or get you to speak to such people? Right? Either they've created it for yourself. Then if you've been working with an advisor for the last 15 years or 17 years, then it doesn't really matter. If he's created wealth for you, he's created wealth. Then don't get to just say, no, Subra told me I have to check this credibility of yours. You have the credibility there visible. However, if you are going to a person for the first time and you have no clue, then you better ask his or her history and say, what have you done? What is your qualification? What is your education? Are you educated in this field, or you generally educated in some other field and you have learned by the book? Then you may not be able to replicate what has happened. Have you been through enough cycles? For example, 1990s, maybe 93 to 2000, the market did nothing. In fact, people gave up their career in mutual funds to go to some other places. 2001 to 2003, market did something, but that was a time when the dot-com bust also happened. But 2003 to 2007, the market went through the roof, but FMCG, pharma, etc. did not participate. It was infrastructure boom, which happened 2002 or maybe 2002 and to 2007, right? That's what happened. Then 2008 or 2019 were all sharp corrections which happened and the market recovered very quickly. But if the market had remained down for a longer period of time, what would be the strategy? Is this now a good time to invest or no? Or you are saying, okay, I have a 10-year view and I'm putting a small amount, I'll put it in small and mid cap. I put a bigger amount in large cap, or I'll put in a flexi cap, right? Knowing all those things, nuances, and it is also important for you to read and learn history. There is nothing better than history of financial service industry, which will tell you, or human behavior, because you will realize that self-regulation never worked. Smoking did not go on self-regulation. People said, oh, it's my decision, I know what is good for me, but it required legislation to outlaw smoking in most places to reduce smoking related deaths, because the smoking related deaths was increasing insurance premium for everybody. So we had the consequences of somebody else smoking. Our premiums were going up because of cancer and tobacco related deaths. So did we ever change anything because of self-regulation? No, it required the law to come and make the changes. So see what kind of changes the law had to make. So learning about history is very useful. Asking for proof is good, but you have to learn about history of how the markets behaved, how the products evolved, what happened, why an index fund, why not an index fund. Go and learn it yourself. Don't expect your advisor to come and teach. That is my job of teaching you and telling you all this, to go and read and stuff like that. This I can do, which your financial advisor can't do. But it is your financial advisor who can sit and make your portfolio, and that I can't do. Please understand the difference between the two. So asking the person, what is your educational experience, what is your skill, what is the training that you have gone through, how many people have you interacted with on a one-to-one basis where you have created an impact, right? These are the questions to ask, because somebody could be educated in as an engineer, or could have done MSc physics or MSc microbiology, then done an MBA in finance, and then may have come here, may have added value. But check it out whether the training and education, etc. was in the same field. If it was in the same field, it sounds much better than having some bookish knowledge which they are now flaunting, right? So Again, how many financial cycles, what have they experienced, what was the good things that they did, what was the bad things that they did, how did they get hurt, right? All these things, right? It's important. Does that person tell you about their failures? Does the person tell you only about their successes? This is also important. It's easy to talk about failures if overall you have been more successful, but overall if you have not been successful, these are the person you should seek out and see why they failed, what happened, why they were positive. Most people start off as positive and then later on in life they become very bitter because of some failure. So check out all those things. I'm not very sure whether you can go to the SEBI website and check out how much action has been taken against them, and they could just be coming in some other name, in their wife's name, mother's name, father's name, children's name, something like that, or create a private company which does all this. So be careful about those things. Check out whether the financial advisor is oversimplifying a reasonably complex thing, or is he making a reasonably simple thing very complicated to scare you and say, oh, you must not put only in an index fund, you should also pick up blah blah blah, you know, you should, a ULIP can be very useful times when you can't pay the premium. If suppose you can't pay the premium for term insurance, then what happens? So your ULIP, if you paid for 6-7 years, then it takes care of itself, right? So find out how the pitch is, what that person is selling, and don't take your advice from person who is selling. You take your advice independently. Somebody is selling, somebody is giving advice, go to a different doctor and go to a different chemist, right? But if you find somebody who is doing both and doing well for you, so then be happy with that. Also check how much of the advice is on facts and how much is storytelling. We tend to get carried away by storytelling, so be careful about the stories that is told to you, right? Does that person want to do your full financial planning or just some ad hoc things? Some people are not comfortable doing financial planning. Some people are not capable of saying, oh, it's okay, I'll take this advice of yours and I'll not take that advice. It's perfectly all right. You can only give advice because you cannot force people to take that advice. So see what they're doing, how it helps you. Are you comfortable doing that with them? Is your wife or is your spouse comfortable with them, right? Check out all that before you take a decision on your financial advisor. Thank you. So continuing, the financial advisor whom you can trust, also check whether that person is talking about risk and about the mistakes that he or she has made, because risk coverage is very important part of financial planning. What happens after all making all those grandiose plans and just before implementing you are hit by some illness and you're critically ill and you have no capability of earning money? Then you were suddenly hit by the fact that it could have been, somebody could have suggested you critical illness insurance, or in the worst case scenario you're dead. Then what happens to your family? Did you tell your family that you have term insurance? Do they know how to manage the money? Do they even know whom to go to in case they need to have to manage money? Would they just listen to some old uncle who says, oh, put it in LIC and it's a great issue, right? Things like that. And also tell your family from where they should seek advice, not from bloggers, not from writers, not from authors, not from people in public image, public speaking place, right? So what we do here in public is very different from what you personally need, right? So I've made that distinction many times. What influencers are capable of doing, what people like me are capable of doing. I'm not a influencer because I don't have 1 million subscribers. It's not modesty, it is just a fact. So you need a personal advisor, so name your personal advisor, put his phone number somewhere, and please do meetings together, right? So all this you will do on your side, but on the other side you should know, is he talking about risk? Does that person talk about medical insurance, health insurance, your insurance, some other insurance that you require in your business, right? So is risk coverage coming to him naturally, or is risk coverage an afterthought saying, by the way, you need some insurance? Because I think the fact that you've got goals and you've set the goals, what are the impediments to achieving that he should suggest or she should suggest, rather than is the advice very generic saying, oh, you should put so much in equity, you should put so much in debt. There are lawyers when I went to my lawyer and said I want to make a will, he did not even ask me whether I want to give some money to my parents. He did not even know whether my parents were alive or no. I just said, look, I have one daughter and I should make it this way. He made it that way, right? So so that's fine. So you have to find out the risk. You have to find out whether your financial advisor is suggesting making a will, right? Those are all good things to know whether he has done it, because if he has not made a will, he'll never suggest one, and if he has made a will, he will not stop raving about how smart he is and how he has made a will and how useful it was. So those are good small indicators for you to pick a good financial advisor, and if it is very clear to you that these are all conditions which are being fulfilled, after that you still check out, find out from some of his clients, talk, and then choose him or her. But please understand, today financial advisors who are really good have a choice of whether to do business with many people. So many people don't do business, so you have to check out. A person who checks all these boxes may not be interested in doing business if it's not, unless it's really large. Thank you.